I'm sorry you have to leave, Brad, but I'm so glad that you came. Do you need any help? I'm doing it. Raise my hand and get started. I lost my mind.
Mo, stop looking away.
Nice. Let's see.
I'm not done yet. No, there. Yeah, please. One more time. One more time. I like it.
If everybody's got a cup of coffee and a water or a muffin, also, we brought some stuff in, but one of our wonderful sponsors from Deb's Sweet Treats brought in a bunch of cookies and brownies, and once you eat them, you're going to absolutely love them, and you'll never eat another cookie in your life except for hers. But Channel 6 had to leave, but I'm so glad that all of you stayed, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And if nobody minds, I'd like to ask Carl to come up and just say a little blessing over our meeting today.
If you be reverently attentive with me, please. Grand Architect of the universe, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you have given us. Thank you for the opportunity to gather here together to bring something back to Indianapolis that has been needing for a long time. We ask that you watch over each and every one of us as we go our separate ways, and that you watch over Larry O'Banion, who was just in a car wreck just a few minutes ago, coming to this meeting. Watch over him and bring him back to health. We ask that you watch over the men and women who serve our armed services throughout the country, protecting our freedoms, that we might be in peace. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if this is on. We're going to do things a little differently today. So first we want to thank all of you for being here. And again, thank Shrine for allowing us to be here in their building and all of the support that they have given us, and the Veteran Support Council and the Homeless and Reentry Program that has been so pivotal in putting us together. And I know all of you are very, very busy, so I'm just very thankful that you all are here, and we have some new faces from the last time. And before I introduce our amazing head coach and our wonderful team that we have here, and last time a lot of you were here, and it was a much bigger group. And so this is officially our team, so we're very excited. So before I speak, I would like to ask my dad, Joe Newman, who is the co-founder, of the ABA and recently retired CEO of the ABA, finally got to take a vacation, to come up and say a few words. So if you put your hands together for my dad, Joe Newman.
Thanks, Susie. I appreciate that. And I also want to thank all of you for attending. On July 1st of this year, I appointed a new ABA CEO, Ron Tilley, and opened a whole host of new offices in Phoenix, Arizona, in the same complex that houses the Major League professional teams in Arizona. The ABA had grown to the point where it needed something like that, so we've increased our staff by many, many people, because there's a lot of things that have happened in the ABA, and I was hoping that we would have a few more people from the press and media, and that I could give you a little bit of a background about the ABA and why this is so important to the city. The ABA, this ABA, and the Indiana or Indy Naptown Allstars, is now heading into its 14th seasons. And it is about 8 years longer than the original ABA. And during this time, the ABA, of which this team is a part of, has grown to become the largest professional sports league in the United States. And when we begin play next month, and when the Indy Naptown All-Stars begin play next month, there will be 90 teams competing for the ABA championship. There's never been anything quite like the ABA, because it is also the most diversified professional sports league in history, with over 75% of its teams owned by minorities, African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, and women. And Susie is one of 12, and Jerry is one of 12 teams that are actually owned by women. We're in a city that has the Colts and the Pacers, and the Fuel and the Ice and the Indians and the Indy 11. So I've been asked many times, is there a need for another professional basketball league? And is there a need for a team in Indianapolis? And the answer is absolutely. Kevin Pritchard, the general manager of the Indiana Pacers, got a start as a player and as an assistant coach and coach in my ABA. Scotty Brooks, the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder that competed for the NBA championship, got a start in my ABA as an assistant coach and a coach. This year, we sent 250 players overseas to play on international teams, and most of them were being paid very large salaries as a result of what has happened in our league. And what's even more impressive, I believe, than that, and I'm extremely proud of it, is that the ABA has become so impactful for so many teams. We're providing over 1,500 young people like these with an opportunity to play. We have over 200 coaches that want to coach at the professional level. We have over 300 referees that want to referee at the professional level, and we provide them an opportunity. When my partner, Dick Tinkham, who was the co-founder of the original ABA and was the co-founder of the original Indiana Pacers, started that original ABA and started the original Indiana Pacers, the NBA publicized itself as having the best basketball players in the world. So the question is, did they? Well, if you tell that to Dr. J and George Gervin and Spencer Hayward and Connie Hawkins and Rick Barry, and to Roger Brown and Mel Daniels and Freddie Lewis and Billy Keller and Bob Nedelicki and Rick Mount, all names that are very familiar to you 40 years after that league stopped playing. And the fact is, the NBA did not then have the best players in the world. The NBA today does not have the best players in the world. They do not have a corner on the best players because there's only 360 spots available in the NBA. And this is the future of professional basketball. Many of you that are around basketball know about EuroBasket, and many of you who are around basketball know about US Basket. This is the world stage. This is the ESPN of the world that publicizes professional sports leagues. This week, US Basket and EuroBasket are coming out with a report that the ABA, our ABA, your ABA, the Indy Naptown All-Stars ABA, is the second best professional sports league in the United States. Bigger than the NBDL and bigger than all of the other leagues. This is an important league. And yet, as you look where we should have camera, thank you, Channel 6, they're not here because they think that maybe the Indy Fuel or the Indy Ice is more important, the Indy 11 is more important. Not. It's just not. And there are thousands of players worldwide and in the Indiana area with the skills that can compete on the highest level. This year, the nation is going to get a chance to see just how good the ABA is, the extraordinary level of talent that we have in this league because many of our games are going to be on ESPN. And because of my position, one of those 20 games that we're going to do on ESPN will be the Indy Naptown Allstars. Because I have great confidence in the city, I have great confidence in the coach, great confidence in Susie, and great confidence in you all that out of 90 teams, we selected to have one of the games here. And I am very prideful of the fact that the games are going to be at Tech because it's in the inner city. We are a diversified league. We are fan-friendly, and affordable. And that's really where we should be. So we don't have to be up on a mountain. We can be right in the city. We can be urban, and we can be where the people are. And they're going to enjoy the ABA. Well, when the original ABA was founded and the Indiana Pacers were founded and began play in the old Pepsi Coliseum, in addition to having an exciting team with those players that I just mentioned, it was fan-friendly and affordable. And their ticket prices were around $10 and $20, not the $50 or $100 it costs today to see an Indiana Pacer game or a professional basketball or football game or the other professional sports teams. Because fans filled the Pepsi Coliseum as a result of the Indiana Pacers and the ABA. That's what made Market Square Arena, and that's what led to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And it was the ABA and the Indiana Pacers that were the forerunners to getting the Indianapolis Colts. Well, I was in the advertising business during that period, and I was the advertising agency for the ABA and for the Pacers. But in addition to that, I was able to help with the development of the RCA Dome, and as a result of that, we had our first game here, which was a Purdue-Notre Dame basketball game there. That was the result of what the ABA proved back in those days, and then as a result of that, we were able to bring in the Buffalo Bills for a preseason game to Indianapolis. It proved Indianapolis was a major league city, and as a result of that, one night, the Baltimore Colts came to Indianapolis, all as a result of what the ABA did. And so what do you have here today? Not the press and media we should, and we will develop it. We will develop it. But you people are just as important as the press and media because the critical mass in developing a business, not a basketball team, a business, is word of mouth, and is people talking about it and getting involved with it, and it will grow, and we will have a very large attendance because we have the kind of mentality we have, a guerrilla mentality that's not based around Jim Irsay and how much money he can spend, or the Simons of how much money he can spend, but what we can do to enmesh ourselves into the community. And that's why Susie's involvement with the Shriners is so important, and with Don Hawkins is so important, and with the exchange clubs is so important, and other community organizations, because we'll grow from the ground up based not on the sheer dollars that we have available to us, but because of the quality product we put on the court, and coaches said we have a quality product, and the price that we're charging, and the way we're going to treat the community. Well, today, there is no change in the excitement of the ABA game. There is no change in the level of play of an ABA game, as you shall see. But even more important, there is no change in the price of a ticket. It was $10 40 years ago, and it's still $10, and it is the most exciting basketball being played with its very unique rules. It's faster paced, it's higher scoring, it's very much fun, it's very fan and family friendly. And on Saturday night, November 8th, when the team opens its season, you'll all get a chance to see why we say that this, not the ice, not the fuel, not the Pacers, not the Colts, not Indy 11, not Butler, IU, or Purdue, is truly the best sports and entertainment value in Indianapolis, bar none. Better than dining out, better than going to the movies, better than going to a concert, and it is affordable for the whole family. In 2001 and 2002, we had an ABA team in Indianapolis. I owned it. At that time, the business model of the ABA was not good. I didn't CEO at that time. I allowed the owners to CEO, and they made dreadful mistakes. the mistakes they made in the first years of the ABA were just as bad as the business model of the original ABA. The salaries were too high. The venue, and we played at Hinkle Fieldhouse, were too high. The travel costs were too high. And as a result, after 2 years, I suspended operations. Today's business model, and I took over about 7 years ago, makes it possible for a team to operate at about 15% of the cost. And as a result, the league has grown as it has. In this room today, the only person other than Susie and my son Denny that were involved in that team, Beverly Jenkins, who at that time was CEO of Jet Credit Union. And she was deeply involved in the team. The fact is that Indianapolis loves the ABA. The Indiana Legends were number 2 in attendance in the league. I opened this team up 1 week before the season started. Like if we're starting on November 8th, I started that team on like November 2nd, and we came number 2 in attendance, averaging 1,500 to 3,500 people. And we were number 1 in revenue in both seasons. And if it were not for a bad business model, it would have been a very profitable, very successful team and still would be existing. But it was a bad business model. Indianapolis wants the ABA back. And the ABA is back with the Indy Naptown Allstars. And it has a wonderful ownership group, which is led by my daughter Susie, has a top-flight Division I head coach, a fabulous group of young players. Susie's ownership group, with Jerry and others, is just the way it should be, diversified and extremely valuable. So when you look at the Pacers with white male ownership, the Colts with white male ownership, the 11, the Fuel, the Ice, and every other professional sports team in this city, it's all white male ownership. Well, guess what? There is a new team, a new league in town, and that's the ABA, and that's opportunity for everyone. So we have on our ownership group, or Susie has on her ownership group, white ownership, black women ownership, because diversification has to start at the top. And it is no surprise to me that the head coaches of all of the other sports teams in Indianapolis are white males. And even though we had Tony Dungy and Caldwell in the past, the fact of the matter is today, the only black head coach in the city of Indianapolis is our coach, Coach Jones. And that's not by mistake, that's by design. That's what we are, who we are. And when I said to Sue, you're going to have a team here, you're going to do it the way the ABA does it. The Indy Naptown All-Stars need the support of the press and media, and we recognize that the press and media have a lot to cover in the Colts and the Pacers and the Fuel and the Indians, the Ice, the 11, and Butler and IUPUI, and all of the great high school sports, including Ben Davis. But please, don't forget the Indy Naptown All-Stars. They're exciting, and it's affordable professional basketball in the city where it all began. And anything you all can do to help Susie and her organization will be greatly appreciated. And I thank you for the time and turn this back over to Sue.
Again, thank you all for being here today. Some old family and some new family, and like Dad said, we are getting some amazing support. And we haven't even played one single game. We haven't scored one single basket yet. And we've already got a lot of the city behind us. And one of the reasons that we are doing what we're doing is because we've been adopted by the Shriners and their 6,000 members, and our goal is to help them raise money for all of their causes. And we've got the Veteran Support Council and the backing of the veterans. We've got the Homeless and Reentry Program. And back in the back, we have a new friend named Brian, and he has up Tear Down the Walls. And so there's another one that we want to work with, and we're working with churches. And so, to have our Shriners and Larry and Don Hawkins and Brian and we have Carly Macer here, our state rep. We went and saw the mayor and he's fully behind us. We didn't even leave the building and he was already tweeting about us. So, you know, it's pretty exciting. And so all of these people backing us gives our team some credibility. These guys right here give our team a lot of credibility. Most of them are from Indiana, but we've got some from out of town. And like Dad said, it's fast-paced and it's fun and it's family-friendly. And, you know, there's discount tickets available. And, you know, being in Tech's new gym, you know, to be in the city where everybody knows where Arsenal Tech is. If you don't, it's 1500 East Michigan Street. You know, we've got over in the corner there, we have Coach Ramon Batts from Tech High School. And support him. He's going to, hopefully we'll be covering him for, what are you running for?
IPS School Board at Large.
IPS School Board at Large, so we like him. So it's nice to have him here. And Indianapolis likes winners. And we are winners. And one of our highest priorities was to bring a winning team here. And Coach has assembled what I believe and what he believes to be a winning team. And it's headed up by a Division I coach who knows the sport of basketball, knows players, knows fans, knows how to assemble championship teams. And he also happens to be one of the owners of the team. So we're really proud about that fact. So what I'd like to do is I want to have Coach Kevin Jones come up and talk a little bit about the team. Okay, Coach?
Glad to see everyone here. I didn't know how good we were or how bad we were until last night. I happened to sit back after practice, went home and I watched the Pacers and the Cavaliers, and I was like, wow, we're not that bad. Because without Paul George and Lance Stevenson, I would love to tip it off against the Pacers. And I really mean that. I really mean that. And I know that's going to get out there, and I'm telling a lot of people told me, don't talk about beating the Pacers because a lot of people don't like that. But that's okay. I feel really good about the guys that we have and what we're trying to do. It's a different style of play that I'm not even used to. As a former Marine, I played international ball because that was the rules. But then we also got NCAA rules, we got ABA rules, we got NBA rules. So it's a mixture. It's a much faster paced game. There's a segment during the game where they turn on these 3D lights where the light goes on. If you hit a 2-pointer, you get 3 points for it. If you hit a 3, you get 4 points. So it can be a wild and exciting style of play, and I'm going to have to get used to that because it's a lot different. But it'll be good for you guys to come out, bring your family. It's going to be very exciting. I got a good group of guys here. I got some guys that can handle the ball, pass the ball. I got some guys that can block shots. I got a couple of guys that can jump out the gym. Jordan Collier and Kenny, I tell you, I would put them in the slam dunk contest against anybody. They are, and we're gonna run alley-oop plays for them because I like that kind of basketball. We're gonna do isolation where guys go one-on-one because it's all about pleasing the fans. As a coach, I want to be pleased. I don't want to sit over there and pass the ball 30, 40 times. You know, I want to see some excitement. The ABA game, back when I was a young kid, watching Dr. J, watching Jordan McGinnis, Mel Daniels, man, I love that style of play. Dan Issel, Utah Jazz, man, I love the old ABA, and that's something that I want to bring back to the city. And I want you all guys to all be a part of that, and feel free to give us a call. You know, you come over to Tech and watch us practice. We go every day from 7 to 9. If you got any input, if you think the guy's not going hard, come down there and let me know. Hell, you can even tell them he's not going hard. Because, you know, if you're part of this, you're part of this. We're all family, and, you know, that's the way I accept everyone. If you're a part of us, hey, you're all family, and we'd love to have you there. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Coach. Before I continue, I think it might be important that everybody meet our players. We're missing 2 today because of work. That would be Boba, I like him. He's very, very tall. And then also Aaron Whedon. who is at a job interview, so we're keeping our fingers crossed for him. One other thing before I introduce the team, I'm not even sure that my dad remembers this, but Ramon Batts over there was actually the first chaplain for the Indy Legends, my dad's ABA team. So he's been a part of the ABA for a very long time, so another connection. So I'm going to start right over here, and I'm going to let the guys introduce themselves, tell you how tall they are, and what position they play, and where they're from. How's that? Come on up.
How you guys doing? My name's Levi Smith, small forward, 6'4", St. Louis, Missouri.
My name is Chris Henderson. I'm from here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I went to Tech High School. 6'1" guard.
Hey, my name's Leland Brown. I'm from Noblesville, Indiana. I'm 6'5" and I play for.
Tyler Robinson, Gary, Indiana, 6'2", point guard.
My name is Maurice Berryhill, 5'7", 170 pounds. Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm gonna die for you.
You can shoot.
My name is Kenny Edwards. I'm 6'3". I'm from here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I play forward.
He's also a professional dunker.
My name is Scott Rogers. I'm from Waterford, Michigan. I'm 6'5" and I play forward.